Hey, there we are. Hey, this is our first show on YouTube, so I want to wish you all good morning. I'm going to give a few minutes before we get kind of started for the people that are going to be joining us from Facebook over to YouTube. And so I have no idea how many people are here right yet. But anyway, I see that I'm already showing that I'm live on YouTube, and it appears that I can go ahead and see your chats on the right hand side of my screen. So that's really cool. So anyway, I want to say good morning. Oh, here it is, live chats. I see down here at the bottom where I have to type in. So I'm going to say good morning to you guys. Good morning, morning. Hey, so anyhow, welcome to the show. I hope you guys make the trip over. And for temporarily, we're going to be using YouTube while they're fixing up our server, setting up our servers for our own show. And so anyway, I see I have 2 people watching right now, and so that's good. And so like I said, I'm going to give people a little bit of, oh, Susie, lower my voice. Okay, I'll lower my voice. I'm going to lower my voice, like my sister says. Good morning. This whole system is a little different than Facebook, so there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve as far as volume levels and what have you, so I'm going to lower my voice. So anyway, good morning from the ranch. Make sure that you click on like, and there's a little thumbs up and a thumbs down, so click on the thumbs up, and then also you should be able to click on the subscribe. And I see that I have a thing going around, so that's not good. We're having some technical difficulties in the town that I live in. My internet carrier, my server for the internet for right now, is on T-Mobile, and T-Mobile is experiencing a nationwide problem right now. They're working on it desperately, and so anyway, if you take and let's see, I'm going to go to Facebook here. So if you're having a problem, like I said, no show today. No, click on YouTube. CLICK on YouTube. Okay, just a second. It's going to take a little while for people today to get used to this whole new thing. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and have to be bouncing back and forth from YouTube to Facebook. So anyhow, I want to go ahead and welcome you guys as you join us here. And so like I said, it's going to be a little bit skimpy at first here. So anyhow, like I said, my internet provider is tied to T-Mobile, and T-Mobile is having a global problem. In fact, my phones didn't work at all yesterday. After the show, I didn't have any phone service, but I did have internet service through them. So anyway, that's it for today. So anyhow, the problem yesterday was a train wreck, and like I said, it just kept getting worse and worse, and I see now I have a third person joining us, and so anyway, I hope that's Pete, and maybe Emily will join us here shortly. So anyhow, we're going to go ahead and talk about the things that kind of been happening around the country right now a little bit, because like I said, I hate to talk about that sort of stuff. Anyway, and Susie, would you text me and tell me if I keep buffering out, please? Anyway, she's my producer, kind of like Roz on Frasier. Anyway, the problem that the police are having and everything is, they have these demonstrations. I watched a couple yesterday, one in Kentucky and one in Fort Worth or Texas someplace. But it's really strange, because what's happening is these police are basically toe-to-toe with our nation's children. So it's really hard. It's not like they're facing off a bad guy or a terrorist or, some kind of, real threat. But here, these young children that have been trained. I found out that an AFRA or whatever it's called, they actually have orientation classes and how to be disobedient type things. And so anyway, it really makes it a problem for us because we need to take and make sure that Susie, mine's buffering also, but I have realized there's a delay too. Okay, so anyhow, the problem is with our children and stuff, and so we're fighting our own children, and so it's not only are we dividing the nation by color, but we're also dividing the nation and dividing ourselves by generation. And so it's really, it just keeps dividing us down into smaller and smaller groups. And so we're going to have a real problem here. And so, back in the day when I was younger, there was the Cold War. We always thought that the USSR, Russia, was going to come in here and they were going to send their jets over and bomb. And so everybody, or a lot of people, built bomb shelters in their backyards. And in turn, they took and had these elaborate homes underground that they could go ahead and let's see here, who it is. Sue, I'm getting buffering too. Okay, sis. Thanks, sis. I think we're just going to have to bear with it today. It's all part of the problem with T-Mobile. So anyhow, I'm stuck. I'm stymied until we get our new servers, which should be next week. So anyhow, bear with us, hang in there. And so anyhow, we're going to go ahead, and people are building these huge bomb shelters and everything. And, and we have the problem that most Americans are having today is we know the problems that are happening, and we know what's happening. We're being divided into smaller and smaller groups, like I said just moments ago. But the problem is, what do you do about it? What can I do as an individual? Yes, you can stand in your furniture store or whatever with armed guards, and you can go ahead and protect your property and your livelihood. But then at the same time, you have a big problem with the fact that, I wonder if I shut down. Oh, so it's 2 more people are on Facebook, and Pete messaged me over on Facebook. Let me go over here now. Facebook, and it says, we tuned in to get away from this stuff. Yes, I know that. So anyway, it's going to switch real quick. So anyway, to get away from it, we're just going to go ahead and talk about the fact that what we're going to do is go ahead and just be prepared. And we just have to get preparedness. Preparedness is the number one answer, because that's what, like I said, is going to be the answer. There's not going to be any stopping this. But anyway, we're away from that now. Goodbye. And like I said, I promise not to do this because this is the Good News channel. And I wasn't talking about the bad news so much as I was just trying to talk about what we could do to get prepared. So anyway, yesterday's show was a train wreck. Today is going to be better. And from now on, it's going to be better. And this is the Good News show. And my team of people are very busily putting together my new servers so that we'll actually be hosting our websites, our network, our channel, and it will be bringing you the Wild West TV channel. And so that's what we're going to call it. And anyway, it's going to be all things cowboy, western, ranch, farm. It's going to be a kind of like another ranch channel, I guess you'd say. And anyway, but there will be some things that will just be kind of on the borderline. Like we're going to have a show all about the llamas and the different, darn it, alpacas. That's it. We're going to have an alpaca show, and it's all about alpaca ranching. So anyway, and somebody's texting me on the other phone. I cannot get that phone number. So anyway, that's on the other phone, and that's why things are kind of going screwy here. So anyhow, the Wild West Network's going to be just all good news, all fun. We're going to have some John Wayne movies. We'll have some different entertainment. It's going to go 12 hours a day at first. We're going to start at 5 a.m. Pacific and go to midnight Pacific. And there will be no broadcast from midnight to 5 a.m. Pacific because I don't have any infomercials to play. If you notice that most of the TV network channels all night long is infomercials. Billy Mays shows you how OxyClean works. What's that other guy's name? And he has Flex Seal and Flex Tape and all these different things. George Foreman's got his grill. And so they'll come along soon. And there'll be other people that will want to advertise on our Good News Network. And so anyway, we want to take and offer this chance right now. We are taking and getting advertisers and sponsors for the new network. And if you'd like to advertise, we're running a special right now starting at $100 a month. And so and then you would be grandfathered in for a whole year, and that's 30 seconds every 24 hours. And then plus there'd be bonus runs, later in the evening and stuff like that. So you'll actually get about a minute 30 every day. And so that would, for $100, that you can't beat that. That's cheaper than anything else. A lot of people have already started asking me about it, but unfortunately, you have to pull the trigger. You have to go ahead and say, yes, I want to do it, and go ahead and get signed up, because you can't take and come to me at the very last minute when we're ready to go live and go, yeah, I want to do a commercial, and then here I'm already got all my queuing, everything is in queue and set up to start running, and now I've got to build you a commercial and then go ahead and get that commercial all put together, and then in turn then put it on the air. And it's not something like a light switch that you can turn on. So if you're interested in doing something with the introductory special, you want to go ahead and get on board right away. My friend Shelley Gallagher just jumped right in yesterday with both feet, and it just happens that Wednesday night, 5:30 p.m., we're going to be shooting a commercial in her downtown location. The Running Iron is located at 710 South Taylor Street in Fallon, Nevada, and also at 2055 Toronto Lane in Fallon, out at the Big Silver Arena and Livestock Auction. And she's got a really nice restaurant, and both locations have dine-in. I eat breakfast at the Livestock Auction, Running Iron, almost twice a week, something like that. Shelley fixes me right up. We're going to go ahead and have a special, and if you mention you saw this ad on the television show, you go in and tell Shelley, and she'll set you up with a 5% discount off your meal. So that's a good deal. So anyhow, so start telling Shelley, or your hostess at the Running Iron, that you saw her commercial on television and on the internet and on our show, and we'll sure to be getting you a discount for your meal. So that's enough for today for that. Okay, yesterday I was talking about treasure hunting. I don't know if you guys remember it. I mean, that was pretty messed up yesterday. But my dad, he was a kind of a rockhound geologist, assayer, and anyway, he was a pretty cool guy, and he could pretty much do just about anything. He was a kind of a rough character. He was tough, and anyway, all of his life he would travel around, and he would take me with him, and we'd go prospecting and what have you. And kind of goes along with our treasure hunting. Him and his partner here. This was Red. Red was his good friend Paul Epler. Both by the way have passed now. Red some time ago and Pop just recently in March. But anyway, Pop built this assay rig, and it was a home away from home and assay lab, and so he would travel around. He went to Utah, and he went down to his silver claims that I'm getting ready to talk about. And so anyway, this was here's the setup all set up. And so it was pretty cool. He had this area they could eat in outside. Then on the other side of was this lean-to tarp arrangement, and that's where the laboratory was. And he could go ahead and he had this whole side that would open up, and basically he could have his samples and he could do his tests, and from there he could go ahead and do a complete assay. And so anyway, like I said, he was a pretty clever guy. He even had this tent. By the way, that trailer was an old pop-up trailer, and he took all the aluminum off of it and everything, and he rebuilt it out of plywood and everything, and he updated the suspension, and then he took and had a canvas maker make the top for him and everything, so it popped up, and it was a full living quarters inside. So anyway, him and Paul would travel around quite a bit, and then of course they'd take me along, usually as a cook. But one of the cool things, and this was me when I was a kid. By the way, I was actually at the age of about 12 to 14, I was certified to work dynamite. And so Dad had taken me to a class in Bakersfield, California. Bakersfield. Maybe it was Tehachapi. Anyway, one of the two towns. Anyway, we used to go out in the Mojave Desert and hunt all kinds of things. We have a uranium mine. We have a magnetite mine. We've drilled for boron. And so like I said, I had a pretty interesting childhood when you think about it. So anyhow, let me get rid of these pictures here, and we'll get me up again here, and there we go. So anyhow, one of the things that I remembered is my dad took and my dad discovered silver, and so we created 3 silver claims down in the desert there, and because I can't tell anybody yet, and so anyway, we took and had these silver claims, and let me see, we got some people joining us on Facebook. And let's see who they are here. Let's see. Pete. So, yeah, we've got that one message. Okay, so like I said, people. Okay, well, I guess it's not. People haven't joined us yet. It's going to take a little learning curve to get people to get over here onto our page. So anyhow, I'm going to turn that off. That'll maybe reduce my... post. There we go. That might reduce my bandwidth. So anyway, Pop and I and Red, we discovered this silver claim down in the desert, and so this was back in the 1990s, 1995, 6, 7. We were traveling back and forth down to the desert, and Pop, we have the 3 mines, and each mine assayed out at a pretty good rate. But in 1997, silver prices were only $4.90 an ounce, and so that was the average high for the whole year of 1997 was $4.90. Well, today that same silver is worth $17.50. So here Pop was going to sit on this and wait until the price went up, and of course he got too old and too actually too forgetful, and he also got his Alzheimer's and dementia kind of thing. And so anyway, so here my sister and I are sitting on these 3 claims. So anyway, so we're going to go down, and I've already contacted the county seat. We're going to go ahead and refile on these 3 claims. And so I talked to a couple friends of mine. I got 2 or 3 guys. Dave Johnson's one of my friends that is interested in a silver mine and a silver claim. So I'm going to go ahead, and what Susie and I are talking about is we're going to go ahead and go ahead and start working one of the mines, and then in turn I'm going to either probably put the other 2 up for sale, or I'm going to go ahead and lease them because the price of silver now has made it worth the venture. And the nice part is the 3 veins on the 3 claims are all very close to the surface. So it's not going to have to be a mining operation where we're going to have to go down thousands of feet or hundreds of feet underground. In fact, the one that I'm currently going to start working, it's only about 10 feet, and so I can do that just from a opening in the ground. So anyway, so we're going to have some fun with it. I'm going to go ahead and film the adventure, and so anyway, it'll just kind of be fun. So hey, if you're interested in silver mining, watch the show, and if you want to be a part of it, jump in, give me a call, text me at my phone number. Here, let me put my phone number back up. And you can go ahead and get us at this phone number. And you can go ahead and call me or text me. And anytime during the show, this might be a good way to go ahead and get a hold of me as far as being on the show, because this is just the new format. I'm stammering a little bit today. I'm sorry, but anyway, there's an opportunity here for you if you want to do this. Also you got the advertising. So I'm going to be pretty busy, but I'm planning not to do a lot of the work. I have people that are highly qualified to do most of this stuff. So it's just a matter of, getting it all arranged. So Dave Johnson, I'll be getting a hold of you, buddy. He was interested. And so anyway, I have a lease option for you. So anyhow, I was thinking of the name of the show as Forgotten Treasure because my dad forgot all about it with his old age. So it's going to be Forgotten Treasures. And then, there's a lot of other forgotten treasures around here. There's stories. I live in northern Nevada. And there are stories about the old casino owners and stuff, and the old people, the old gamblers and stuff that gambled here in northern Nevada. And there's a story, there's a house on the corner of Plumas and Mount Rose. And that house is a stone house. It's all completely built of these big, like, river rocks. And it's a huge house, a really nice house. It's just up the street from the Charlie Mapes' mansion, the Mapes family mansion. And then it's just down the hill. And anyway, the generations kept it in the family. And it just happens that this old member of the family used to go down to the casinos, and he would play poker, and he was a big poker player. And when he would come home at night after playing, or in the morning after playing poker all night, he would take all of his silver dollars, and in the plaster wall he would take and he would cut a little slot, just a little short slot in the wall, and he would feed, just like a piggy bank, he would feed these silver dollars down in the bay between the two the two 2x4s that made up the framing in the house on the inside after the rock was on the outside. Well, anyway, years later, after his passing and everything, and then after it would get full, he couldn't put any more silver dollars, he'd go to another bay, and he would put another hole in the next one, and he'd patch that hole. And so, people in the old days, they didn't care for banking like we do today, and I don't care for banking myself. I just as soon have a shoebox or a safe. Anyway, but anyhow, they took and were remodeling this house, and they took and pulled the sheetrock and the stucco off the wall to re-sheetrock it and do some remodeling, and whoosh, out comes all of these silver dollars out of the wall. It just came, and there was hundreds of them, tons. There was pounds of them, And so anyway, they took and found this forgotten treasure that nobody knew about in their house. And so from, I think, I guess it would have been their grandfather, because that was about 3 generations down the line. And then also there's, been people that find treasures in their own backyard. I mean, there was a story about a guy digging in the Auburn area, I believe it was, and anyway, he digs up a tin can, and in this tin can, or tin, I don't know if it was just a soup can or a pork and bean can, but anyway, he opened up this tin, and it was full of old money that was dating back to the 1800s. And anyway, it's still all intact, and it was buried in the old days. I mean, these bank robbers and hold-up men and burglars and stuff would burglar people, or even farmers and ranchers. They would just bury their money out in the yard. My dad always teased about he was going to bury his silver bars out in the yard, but he didn't. He ended up cashing them in. But it's amazing the amount of found treasures. So this whole little show will be all about the silver mining thing, and then it'll also be about other found treasures. And we're going to take and make some road trips, and we're going to go out and do some shooting, and so it'll be kind of a fun show. And then I'll incorporate it into some of my travels. So it'll be it's going to kind of create a whole new another little show part thing. I have another guy that is starting in doing what they call team pinning and sorting, and we're going to go ahead and try to get together with him and see if he wants to create a television show for the new network that is all about horse events and then his exploits, kind of a cowboy life kind of a thing, and kind of show a day in the life of somebody practicing and getting better and better and trying to win a buckle at team pinning and sorting. There's that rodeo level, a cowboy that rides the bulls and everything and, gets the big buckles. But from that level down to us at our level, that's a pretty big dream to get in the rodeo. But there is a lot of events and a lot of things that you can enjoy, with your horse, and be able to do with your own horse, your own personal steed, and then be able to really enjoy it. We have a guy right here in Nevada, Joe, and he takes people on